You walked on with sprightly gait. I only say that because I read that you had a bad knee surgery.
Yes, I had a little bit of knee surgery. The knee is all fine. It only made it awkward when I was doing Three Men in a Boat, that for a while I was on a crutch and off a crutch. And when I was up in Edinburgh at the festival, I was on the crutch for the shows, which audiences, frankly, find difficult because they're going, there's a joke, there's a crutch joke, this is all building up to a crutch joke, this is, oh, wait till you get to the crutch joke. And I'd finish the show, go, thank you very much, good night, and hobble off, and they go, where the hell was the crutch joke? And I had people coming up to me after the show going, oh, you're really on a crutch? And you're going, well, I wasn't. It's a kind of a showbiz thing. I think I'm not that showbiz, really. Like, I do comedy and we go out and we mess around, but it's not like if I was Liza Minnelli and I was on a crutch, I'd have bubbles coming out of the end of the crutch, right? Or it would light up where I'd be going, hello, and the American flag would come down and I'd think, New York, and it would explode at the end of the crutch, right? But me, no, just a crutch.
Just a crutch.
Just a crutch,
fine. But you're OK now?
I'm fine, I'm grand, I can work and do everything.
You never played for Ireland at hurling or anything like that?
Unfortunately, no, it's difficult. I'd imagine my international sporting days are over at this stage, to be honest. But I wasn't putting any long bets in it anyway at this stage. I think, that ambition is dead.
Of course, I mean, you mentioned there the audience reaction in your shows. I mean, they play a huge part in your shows, don't
There
they?
is a lot of messing around, to be honest. As much as possible, you will dip into them and find who's there and chat to them. And I mean, we've only just started the tour. I mean, but even the first night, I mean, the first guy I talked to, I said, what do you do for a living? And he says, I design bendy buses. And he was very proud. And I said, did you get the idea from the straw? And it kind of took the wind out of his sail slightly. And then we started talking about, you know, it was like the razor blades with 5 blades or 3. How many more bends can you put into the bus? And he said, 3 is the limit. Because if you have a 3 bend in a bendy bus, when it goes round the corner, people at the back will be able to wave to the people at the front and it snaps around. And then I went from him to the other guy who said he trained guide dogs for the blind, right? And the audience, huge cheer, because that guy is bulletproof. I can't slag him off in any way, but I tried. And I said, how long does it take to train? And he goes, 3 years. I said, it takes 3 years to train the dog. He said, oh, no, it takes 3 years to train me. And I said, how long does it take to train the dog? 18 months. I said, it takes twice as long to train you than a dog. And he went, yeah, fair point. But he was grand, and he was there with his fiancée who he'd met on a blind date, which is a fabulous thing, which is great. And I asked him, did he bring the dog, but he didn't say.
So, I mean, is that the buzz then of touring?
It is to a certain extent. I mean, like, where am I this week? Sunday, tomorrow I'm in Middlesbrough, for example. And last year we had a guy who collected refuse, but he was like, I'm a bin man. I'm going, you're a hero. And at the end when we had him on a wire, not really on a wire, obviously, but coming down and performing Mission Impossible style things to get people's rubber. You want to create legends within the show, like whatever. And some days are great. As I said, Middlesbrough, we had a fantastic time last year. Hull, we had glorious people. We had Zorro in Hull, but that's an incredibly long story that, frankly, is very difficult to explain.
But what about the opposite of that? There must be times when nothing happens in the audience.
There's times where it's dead, and there's times you turn to, especially if they've never had a comic and they don't realise that it's a relatively interactive form of entertainment, right? And there's times I've gone, hey, you, that guy, and the guy is literally sat in the row going, what's he doing now? This is mad. And he's going, oh, it's like his eyes are following you around the room. And you go, give me something. Some people just aren't used to the rules of engagement, which are, I will talk to you. If I find myself ever saying to an audience, you're a little quiet here, why don't we start you with an easy question? How many of you use oxygen as a major respiratory gas? And if they don't answer that question, frankly, just refibrillate them, go psh, clear, poof, and get out of there. Whatever.
You started off in kids' television. It's always struck me about the people who start that way that what you do, actually, you're very brave because you play to a generation who grew up hating you, basically, don't you?
You do. It's a weird, because they can be slightly hostile out of the studio. You think you're doing a lovely job for them. I mean, I walked out of a shop once and there was like a 12-year-old there and he said, are you the bloke off the telly? And I went, yes. Yes, I am. In my full kids' TV, yes, I am. And the 12-year-old looked at me and went, so what? I think you're shite. And he ran away, like, and I, quick as a flash, went, hey, and he left. He was gone. We were in a place called Bantry, which is a lovely town in Cork, in Ireland, and we'd done a report in the morning, which is one of your typical children's television stories about, you know, puppies or something. And then we'd gone off and we'd had a long lunch with the crew, and we were walking around the town later, and we met the children from the school, and we're having a chat with them, and they're all being very fun, and they said, we just signed this, and the kids get, and you, oh yeah, there, no problem at all. And an 8-year-old looked up at me and went, Jesus, there's a fierce smell of drink off you. you don't want to hear. And you don't know who's more disappointed, me or him.
What about the... You mentioned puppies there.
Puppies, yeah, because we had a pet clinic on the show at one stage. And we did the finest children's television idea in the world.
There's always one disaster story about children, isn't
yeah,
there? I mean, like the peeing elephant. Or...
Yeah, we didn't quite have any animals that defecated on the set, as it were, but we did have pregnant dog once on the pet clinic that we had, and we had a weekly pet clinic where people would bring in their animals, and the vet would have a look at them. And there was a pregnant dog, and we thought, brilliant. What we'll do is we'll follow the dog through the pregnancy, right? And then we'll show all the young people at home how to look after a pregnant dog, how much rest to give it, how much food to give it, how much exercise to give it, how to look after the dog during this difficult time for it, right? And we did that. And then at the end of it, this is the genius, this is the light bulb above the head moment. When the puppies are born, we'll get young people all over Ireland to write in and say why they should have one of the puppies, and then we'll hand the puppies out all over the country, which is a lovely thing for children's television. Yeah. Didn't move them in any way. They're it's a glorious thing, and it would have been very, very sweet. We did it in November, we did it in December, then we went on holidays, and then we came back, and we never mentioned the puppy again. And we never, ever mentioned them. And to this day, I still meet people in nightclubs who'd be like 20 years old now at this stage. And they come up and they go, what happened to the puppies? I wrote in for the pup. What, did you keep the puppies for yourself? Was that what you did? Yeah. Did you all just swap the puppies around? Is that what you did? And they're really quite angry. And you have to sit them down and go, the puppies didn't make it. And we kind of felt that dead puppy giveaway didn't have quite the same ring to it in the end, right? Here's the puppy you would have got. So they still have a kind of an idealised view of it.
Since we last met on the programme too, you've become international. You've gone to, what, Australia?
Done a bit of travelling in Australia. One of the joys of doing stand-up is, and Sam will always talk about, is you travel all over the place. You travel across Europe and you travel to Dubai and places like this, and Shanghai and Australia and stuff like that. And everyone thinks, oh, that's amazing. And you're telling jokes to all these people from all over the world. And you're going, no, I'm telling jokes to any English or Irish people who happen to be there and are frankly gagging for anything in English at this stage, right? Because they're sick of watching Japanese television every day, right? And they want any jokes about home, right? Yeah. And then you do get the... Because sometimes I think this part of the world, because we're both islands, England and Ireland, we have a tendency to be... We don't take as much stuff, anything from the continent, and things throw us. Like, I mean, if you go to France and you meet a lady, you kiss her on 2 cheeks. And if you go to rural France, it's 3 kisses, or 3 cheeks, if you're particularly adventurous, I suppose. If you go to rural France, it's 4 kisses. Go to Holland, it's 3 kisses. In Spain, men kiss other men as a greeting, which is a fantastic... They've been doing it for hundreds of years. That's their custom, that's their tradition. It's a fine thing. But, Jesus, the first time an Irish man goes into Spain and a man comes up and goes, hola, ¿qué tal? Mwah, mwah. All Irish men automatically recoil into kind of a, whoa, that's a bit friendly, isn't it? For a customs official. He's obviously just softening me up for the whole rubber glove business in America. So you do trek around the place, like, and I have the same level of no languages internationally as anyone else has over here, like whatever. Which always embarrassed me to see someone like Thierry Henry come along and speak 14 languages fluently, and you're going, we left school at 14. This is embarrassing.
Well,
right?
Don't worry about it. When you go there, the taxi driver speaks flawless English.
They're phenomenally good at it, like whatever. And we think that's kind of just charming of them to do it, like, but we really should do it ourselves. I mean, if I was an international footballer, I did years of French in school. If I was a soccer player and I came off the field and they said, how was the match in French? I'd have no idea. I'd have to read them a letter to an imaginary French family saying, please, could you collect me at the train station at 5 o'clock? And frankly, week after week, I think that would get repetitive for them. But I remember once I was in Spain, and I was there I was travelling with a lady who spoke Spanish, right? And in Spain, the waiter will always go to the man first, and I didn't have a word of it, right? So the waiter would always walk up to me first and go, hola, ¿qué tal? And I would go, wow. Oh, yummy, 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 Talk to the lady. And she'd take over, right? And it was really embarrassing. And you know, after a while, your hunter-gatherer instincts kick in and you want to supply food. So we went there was a McDonald's, right? And I went, we'll go to McDonald's, right? Because in McDonald's, there is a picture of the food with the words written beside it, right? I can't get this wrong with a big Mick head of me, right? So I said, you wait there, I'll get that. There was a big, like, chicken dinner or something like that. And I went to the counter and I said, hola, to the man behind the counter. Because I'm not stupid. I'd spotted they start many of their conversations like that, right? And your man went, hola, back at me. And I said, por favor. And then just read out the description of the meal, which is something like, quiero mi Cuba Libre, pa que mi gente pueda bailar, por favor. Looking back at your man, right? Thinking he was just going to turn and deliver me some food, right? And he just looked shocked. Right? And I turned to the woman I was travelling with, and she was on the floor laughing, right? And I said, what did I possibly do wrong? And she had to gather herself and go, no, you started brilliantly. That hola was one of the best holas. You nailed the hola. But then for some reason, you read out that sign, which actually says, why not enjoy your new lunchtime meal deals, Russia? And your man was behind the counter going, aren't I supposed to say that to him? He's deeply confused by it.
Let's talk a little bit, too, about your travelling in this country, because you made the Three Men in a Boat with Rory McGrath and with...
Griff Jones.
In fact, it's interesting. There's a link here between you and Tim Rice, because Tim did that, you know.
He did a previous version
with
of it.
Bendy Green and Christopher Matthew, I think it was, wasn't it?
Possibly a slightly more respectable version.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Ours received complaints. And I'm in some ways deeply proud of the fact that the BBC announcer had to go, and next on BBC Two, we have a recreation of Jerome K. Jerome's classic comedy novel of the 1900s, Three Men in a Boat. Strong language from the very beginning. And we received loads of complaints because of that, like whatever. But yeah, apparently Griff kept teasing us because apparently we went past your home, presumably
you did.
At some stage.
You went past my home.
Yeah, but we didn't know which one it was.
No.
Because...
Should I remedy that?
On some... Yeah, you should have. As you're going around the bend in the river, there should be mic speakers so you can hear... and then you're standing at the back of the street just waving. How are you? Good to see you. Go on. Good to see you. We were half expecting Cilla Black is there just doing her garden with the hose going, surprise, surprise. But we couldn't find it. Yuri Geller apparently went past his house. We didn't spot that as well. It was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic.
Well, you're touring in a rather less glamorous way now, of course. I mean, we go by bus and car, and 45 town tour.
Oh, no, we're up to 58.
58?
Yeah, I'll be getting to mess around and settle scores, which is essentially what stand-up is. Basically.
Settle scores?
It's all stand-up is, to be honest.
Yes.
It's me roaring at a crowd, to be honest, and me going, once somebody said something, and now I know what the funny answer was, and I'll tell you. I was at a party once, and there was a girl there, and she was obviously like an ambassador's daughter or somebody. Somebody made the mistake of going, Mary, have you ever lived outside of Ireland? And she launched into a huge long list of places. Oh, we lived in Tanzania for a while, then briefly in Zanzibar, then in Calcutta. Oh, the contrasts. Then in Delhi, then in Durban, then Peru. Now we live in Prague. Would we summer in Milan? And everyone was looking at her in a very Irish kind of a good for you, you bitch, kind of a way. So I just leaned in and went, wow, it must be great to be part of a circus family. And then immediately ran away, which is the best, because she's there going, no, my father was oh, you're a bastard, right? And I spent the entire rest of the party just sneaking up behind her and going, and then running away again. So basically you're looking for those things. Now, that may not have happened as neatly as I tell it, but when the show, it's unbelievably slick. So it's just a chance for you to settle those kind of scores.
Dara O'Briain, thank you very much indeed. Dara.